Hello and welcome back to a very merry Beekeeper holiday special. We're here today to bring you the ultimate festive web series celebration. Isn't that right, Freezy?
Please, won't somebody tell me?
Could someone take care of that for me, please? Ta. Moving on. Usually this show features some sort of review, and this installment is no different. The only problem is there's so much choice. Over the years there have been many classic Christmas films: It's a Wonderful Life, Miracle on 34th Street, hundreds of versions of A Christmas Carol, Home Alone, Elf, Santa Claus vs. the Martians? Director Nicholas Webster's film begins promisingly enough, with a phone news report introducing us to Santa's workshop. These reports run all the way through the film, and I have to wonder if the makers of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory took note some years later, as a very similar device is employed there. As Santa Claus, John Call is no Richard Attenborough or David Huddleston, but he does the job and serves the film well. Just try to ignore his creepy laugh. As for Mrs. Claus, well, she's no Angela Lansbury, but who is?
Oh, Mrs. Claus is going to be very angry about this.
Things go rapidly downhill once we actually get to Mars. In quick succession we are introduced to an uninteresting father, an annoying comedy sidekick, two dull as dishwater children, and a redundant wife. The Martians are growing concerned that their offspring are missing out on childhood, and so, after consulting a man dressed as George Clayton Johnson, resolve to kidnap Santa Claus from Earth. I do have to question this father's reasoning though.
Something is wrong with our children. They eat not, they sleep not. Their only interest is watching meaningless Earth programs on the video.
Never did me any harm. There's also the fact that he uses sleep spray on his children. Why would he have that lying around? There isn't really anything wrong with the plot. It's just the direction and general cheapness of the production which lets it down. The whole movie has an airless sort of quality, partly due to the sparse low-budget sets, and partly down to poor blocking, which sees the actors constantly standing still and talking. In some ways, this ghetto production has the feel of a late 1960s softcore porno, without the redeeming factor of boobs. Stock footage is also relied upon to bulk up the film's running time. Seriously, what kid is going to be enthralled by footage like this? I feel like I'm watching a bargain basement episode of Thunderbirds. The costumes aren't great, and most of the Martians, even the kids, have a faint air of embarrassment about them. Just look at this scene, doesn't his body language just scream, "Why am I here? Why am I here?" Of all the characters, it's ironically the villain with whom I find myself identifying the most, if only for the fact that he keeps pointing out how stupid everyone is behaving.
What are those funny things sticking out of your head?
Those are our antennae.
Are you a television set?
Stupid question. Is this what you want to do to our children on Mars? Turn them into nincompoops like these?
Hold your tongue, Voldar.
Once on Mars, Santa is put to work making toys, quickly constructing an amazing machine which literally poops presents.
Three baseball bats.
3 baseball bats.
Look at me. Santa Claus, the great toy maker.
Our villain wants Santa dead, as Saint Nick threatens the Martian way of life. Luckily for Father Christmas, the kids rally to his side during quite a trippy climax. This really does look like they were just making it up as they went along, doesn't it? Santa Claus Conquers the Martians isn't very good, but it isn't the worst film ever made as its reputation would suggest. Cut it down to half an hour and you might have a decent TV special on your hands. After all, any film with a giant robot and a man in a polar bear costume can't be all bad, and the theme tune also rocks. Well, that just about wraps things up for this very festive edition of The Beekeeper, unless we've missed anything. What was that? A musical number. Aren't they, you know, a little bit hit and miss, sometimes festive triumphs, other times real embarrassments. Oh well, you be the judge. Let's tackle this Shatner style. Oh, little show called Beekeeper. It's Christmas time tonight, with guests and clips and festive stuff to make up for the usual shite. Yet somewhere in the darkness, the everlasting light, the TV will remain switched on for most of the bloody night. Don't worry, folks, I'm quite okay. They stored me in the fridge. And now, our specials message. Festive movies are no crime. So sit back, relax, and give everything a chance. Enjoy your Christmas time. Merry Christmas!